Banking Law Notes by MG Law. Now we will discuss services, functions of banks. Page number 10. Services or functions of bank. What are the services provided by the bank, or you can say what are the functions of the bank? There are three types of services or functions. First is primary, or you can say essential or main services. Okay. Second is subsidiary services or subsidiary functions. They can be also called secondary. And third, miscellaneous, which are the leftover services after primary and secondary services. First, we will take the primary services. So, what are the primary services? The first one will be accepting deposit. Accepting deposit is lifeline of banks. It is the basis for other activities. The main function of bank is to take deposits, and when it takes deposits, it's the main source of bank on which it can do other activities. What type of deposits the bank takes? There are two types of deposit: term deposits and demand deposit. Term deposit is for a certain period of time, like fixed deposit. If you make a fixed deposit or FD for 1 year for 1000 rupees, then the bank will be assured that the money will be with the bank for 1 year, so it can lend the money to any other person for that period. If you demand the bank to repay the money, then you have to pay the penalty. Okay. The other is recurring deposit. It's like the money is fixed, but you have to deposit the money on a periodical basis, like monthly. Every month you pay some amount to the bank, and that amount will be deposited with the bank for a fixed period. Okay. Other is savings deposit or savings account. It's the most normal or general account. In it also there are certain number of limits on how many transactions you can make, although people make lots of transactions nowadays. The other type of deposits are demand deposits. It means the bank has to repay the money on the demand. It cannot take time. If a customer demands for the money, then bank has to pay at that time only, like current deposit or current account, where we make everyday payment, mostly used by businesses. Okay. Second type of primary function of primary service of bank is lending of money. Lending like loan, advances, overdraft facilities, like this. It is a one of the source of profit of bank. Like when you deposit money with the bank, like you deposit some amount and the bank pays you 5%, then the bank will lend that money to other person in the form of loan, like home loan, car loan. And if the bank lends that money at about 7% interest rate, then the gap of 5 and 7, that is 2%, that will be the bank's profit. Then the third primary function is check issuance. It is the exclusive right of banks. Check issuance is the exclusive right of banks. No other type of body or company can issue checks. Then the next primary function is remittance of funds. Basic meaning of remittance is sending money to another party. Like when you send money to any person, your friend, relative, or anyone, then that's called remittance. This is CBS, like core banking system. Through core banking system, all the banks are connected to each other through computerized systems, networks. So whenever you have to send money to another person, you don't have to carry the money physically. You can transact through banks on all banks. like when you do Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm Extra, etc. Then you pay through your phone, but the transfer is from one bank account to another bank account. These were the primary functions. Next is subsidiary or secondary functions. What are the secondary functions? The first one will be agency services. The bank will act as an agent of the customer. The bank will act as an agent of the customer. Like when they buy or sell shares or stocks, they will act on behalf of the customer as their agent. When they collect the dividend, bonus, check, promissory notes, they act as an agent of the customer. They remit funds on behalf of the client. The client doesn't need to have to physically carry the fund from one place to another. The bank will transfer the money on behalf of the client. The bank acts as an trustee, executor, correspondent, valuer, auctioneer, administrator, like to administer any property, to auction any property, to value the property, acts as an correspondent of the customer, as an executor of any document, or as a trustee. Next is in the agency services, payment of taxes, bills, insurance premium. Like whenever you pay, you have to pay your income tax, GST, etc. You make the payment through the bank. In this process, the bank is acting as an agent of the customer, or you pay the bills of your electricity bill, water bill through the bank. In this process, also the bank is acting as an agent. And whenever you have to pay the insurance premium of your insurance policies, there also it's like acting as an agent. They are doing the work on your behalf. Next, subsidiary or secondary services are general utility services. The most common services like account opening, maintaining of accounts, loans, lockers, credit cards, shares, bonds, remittances, check, providing business information, advising you on financial issues as a trustee, custodian, executor. So these are more general or common services provided by the bank. Next, secondary services will be international banking services. The banks will provide international banking services like remittance. If someone transfers amount some amount from USA to India, it will be like foreign remittance, international remittance taking place from one country to another, or from India to USA. Uh, Banks also provide finance to international companies, though these will come under international banking services. Banks provide merchant banking services, and banking services like leasing something, housing finance ventures, providing capital services, providing financial services to the merchants. Okay. Para banking services include the services which are around banking services like insurance business, credit card business. For these type of business, the bank will have a separate department, or they will set up a subsidiary company. Like whenever you go to a bank, the bankers usually ask to take some insurance from them. So mostly they have a tie up with another insurance company, or the company which is providing the insurance is the bank's subsidiary company. Next, secondary services will be foreign exchange services. The banks will provide assistance to importers and exporters, like in the documentation process, letter of credit, LOC issue, loans, post shipment term finance, and in export promotion measures. They will help the importers and exporters of the country. Okay, so these were the secondary or subsidiary functions or services provided by the bank. The last are miscellaneous or leftover services, like the custody of your valuables, providing tax consultancy, check collection, etc, etc. Okay, these will come under miscellaneous services. So We have done the services or functions done by the bank or provided by the bank. So what were these? Three: primary, secondary or subsidiary, and third were miscellaneous. In primary, first one was accepting deposits, which was the lifeline of the banks, on the basis of which the bank can do other activities. Second was lending of money. It was one of the main source of profit of the bank. Third was check issuance, which was the exclusive right of the bank. And fourth was remittance of funds, transferring money from one party to another. In subsidiary functions or services, first was agency services, bank acting as an agent on behalf of the customer. Second was general utility services like account opening, maintaining, loan, locker, credit share, providing business information, etc. Third was international banking services, and fourth was merchant banking services. Next was para banking services like insurance, business, credit card business, etc. Next was forex, foreign exchange services, to assist exporters and importers in their documentation, letter of credit, etc. And then miscellaneous services, it was. So now we have done these services and functions provided by the bank. If anyone is interested in the PDF of these notes, they can get it from the comment section or the description box. Next topic will be clearinghouse, which we will cover in the next video.